All right. Time for more morning steam. With Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thanks for joining us. See you filling up the chat here. We got a busy day planned with a lot of sports. Hopefully every game gets played. Got to avoid the rain everybody's talking about. I'm not a meteorologist, but we might only have one baseball game the way everybody's talking.
Yeah.
Got a couple of college football games tonight, and we got a football game that professionals are going to play. Apparently, there might be questions whether it's going to be an aesthetically pleasing game. Get Mindy's opinion on that, and maybe some touch on some basketball and hockey. Don't forget hockey, right? Big card season fully in the swing of things right now. And I don't know, we kind of flubbed it up there. I don't know in the NHL yesterday what happened to our Kraken. You wore the hat. We had a 3-1 lead.
Everything was going right. I don't understand. The Kraken, they're the Kraken for a reason, I guess. But they should have been able to hold off that 3-1 lead. Instead, lost it in overtime to the Ducks. So we'll have to get back on it here again today, Ramon.
Yeah, we had Montreal on the puck line. They ended up, losing as well. But I think we got the money on that one. We had the Timberwolves in NBA preseason. So I don't know, a couple games a night. Maybe we can clean that up a little bit. Also, I forgot, we got to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about Thursday's NFL, of course, in a few minutes. We're going to open up with the baseball and the hockey, and then we'll lump all the NFL together. We're going to preview all the early games from 1 Eastern, noon Central, and 10 a.m. Pacific. Those games we'll cover from the NFL today. And I don't know. Yesterday wasn't a big thrill. I guess I could sheepishly.
How are you going to say that when your Padres, totally took one from the Dodgers? I mean, I thought you'd be a lot more excited at this point in time.
Yeah, I was trying to hide my emotions and not talk about it because there's no game today and didn't want to brag or boast, but confidently played game by the Padres. And all of a sudden now, the Dodgers are possibly in a bullpen game. This great Dodger team with the greatest starting pitching in the history of mankind might be forced to go with a bullpen game because, Gonsolin, he's definitely had a great year, but questions surrounding his general overall strength of his arm. And I don't know. Padres going to be at home for the next 2 games. I'm not going to say advantage Padres, but
it kind of is.
Snell's pitch better at home. Still got to beat the Dodgers. Dodgers, obviously, what are you going to say, Mindy? They are still a road favorite in the game tomorrow. So,
given that, fun. We're getting closer to the Mariners / Padres World Series.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that because we'll talk about that game as well, and we'll get right into it in just a moment. But first, we're going to head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and see what happened yesterday. We already recapped a little bit of it. I don't know, but oh my goodness, who's on top?
What happened
Here? Surprise, surprise. I'm on top today with a 5-2 mark. How about that, Mindy?
It's awesome. Good work, Ramon.
Had some wins here.
Getting your stride with the NHL. You had some good basketball yesterday too, right?
Yeah, let's take a look and see where I did the damage yesterday with a 5-2 record. And I had the Braves 3-0 victory. Mindy, I mentioned the Phillies defense in our previous previews, and it definitely came back to haunt them yesterday. Also, I had Louisiana Lafayette, 10-point dogs. They won by 10.
They did.
And it looks like I'm 2-2 there. That my losses were in NBA preseason.
Oh, okay.
And I went big. I ended up with 4 plays after I told you I wasn't going to have any. And maybe I should have backed off still, but I do like the number. I did like the numbers eventually. And I came back. I did have this winner here, Boston, Washington over 6, and they get to 7 goals. So, okay, decent day for me. And Morning Steam, we were just okay. So we got to clean that up today. But don't forget to head on over to our website, Tony'sPicks.com. There you'll find our premium picks, our best picks every day. Nick, very hot over the last 7 days, coming in at nearly 67%, up nearly a dime over the last week. Sam and Mindy also with a winning mark over the last 7 days, and Mindy still profitable over the last 30 days. Did you have any bad beats yourself yesterday, Mindy? Or
Well, I only had 2 plays, and I was, on the 76ers. They were -8, and they only won by 5. And then I was on the opposite side. I had the Mean Green of that Marshall team, and I think we're having a bad coach effect early on in the season for Marshall. They've had pretty bad last 3 outings. It's kind of like now you're like, well, how did we do that versus a Notre Dame team?
Yeah, well, the key for me in taking UL Lafayette was when the line got to double digits. I just couldn't pass. I mean, really, we talked about it, and you guys had it. And remember, I flaked out. I mean, I said you guys look like you had the winning total actually, and because I went against you, and you guys were right, but in my handicap, eventually I came around, and told you on the show, and we told people to go watch the video, but I said, I think you guys are going to end up on the right side with that total. Sure enough, that was indeed the case. And you beat me on that one. You beat me on that late basketball game. Try to find a spot, but take a look at some of the best bets today over at Tony'sPicks.com. You got Nick. He's got one in soccer today. You have him. He's got one on the ice, and he's got one in the major league. So Nick's loading up with best bets. You got Paul's got a Europa League game, big Europa League card today. Tony's got a premium best bet $15 pick in Major League Baseball tonight. And Ben has his solo shot for the football game tonight as well. More best bets today. Collins has his best bet in the NFL. Tony's got the GM has one in college football. He's got one in Major League Baseball. And Mindy, apparently we've got our Friday game up there for tomorrow. But if anybody wants to get the previews of tonight's college football games, we previewed those games back on Monday, and they're already on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. You can just type in the teams, or you can go to the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, find the previews for the Thursday night college football, Baylor and West Virginia, Temple and Central Florida, and get our picks there. I know one thing, Mindy, we didn't have any consensus on those games. So if you go over to watch those videos, I think you'll get 4 picks from us, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't recall at the moment.
Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, that is indeed the case.
All right, good.
All right. And don't forget, also, you can get our $15 bets over there, introductory offer some, and also discount bets from our handicappers, including Nick and Paul, and 3-packs today, including Tony T. He's got a 3-pack with a baseball game, a college football game, and the NFL game for $40. And Ben has a 3-pack as well. He's got the 2 baseball games and the NFL. Daniel's got a 3-pack as well for Thursday with the 2 baseball games and an NFL game. So, all right, we want to promote all of our buddies, and make sure you head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. Click the All Cappers tab and get signed up. That's where you find all of our 10 handicappers over there at Tony's Picks, kind of an algorithmic order of who's been performing well over the last 7 days. And there's Mindy right up there with a pretty good record over the last time frame there. And Tony and me are also right there. But this is what I'm concerned about, Mindy. We've got to fix it.
Right.
Morning's team right now needs to turn it up a little bit. So we're going to get started with the show because there's a lot of games to cover and a lot of winning to do. So thank you to everyone joining us in the chat. Want to see those great numbers today. Crush Diamonds joining us as always, a legend in the YouTube chats on the sports shows with his picks. Always appreciate.
Yeah.
All right, Mindy.
Get in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. Please, just don't let Crush be the only one. We know we're starting to fill up here. We'll give it another second or two, get everybody in here as we start the show. I'll go over the order once again. Major League Baseball, the two games, hopefully the two games. Then we're gonna go with hockey. Then we're gonna go with NFL, the Thursday night game, as well as the early Sunday, and then maybe we'll touch on those two NBA preseason. Uh, all right. All right, everybody, let's get started and start with Major League Baseball tonight with our free picks rundown. And Mindy, Seattle, fresh off that collapse against Houston, how will it affect them? A day off to stew about it. Probably not the best scenario if you are a former elite college athlete. Do you want to sit on something like that over 24 hours while Houston playing again with confidence with Valdez, our guy, right? Two high quality starters here, I would say. What's going on tonight? I hope this is not the only game, but let's not get our hopes up. It might be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the dome might not get rained out here tonight. But yeah, I mean, I think, these guys are professionals, and of course they want to get right back in it because there's nothing better than, getting rid of a loss when you can go get another win right away. But, Castillo here, he's only faced the Astros like once in his career, gave up 2 runs on 6 innings of work there. Valdez, he's kind of dominated the Mariners with a 5-0 record, 1.94 ERA. But each of these teams are just scoring a bunch of runs. I mean, they each average 4 runs per game. So it's just going to depend on if they can do it, against these pitchers here today. We know Valdez has had, a little bit of trouble, but Castillo, for the most part, has been pretty solid. I just think the bats are going to come today. I think that's just how this one kind of feels to me. Been similar to probably the first game there. The over is 12-5 in the last 17 here in Houston. Like I said, Valdez struggles at home. I expect this one to go over the 6.5 runs today, Ramon.
Okay. I think that it could be a pitcher's duel, so I'm kind of concerned, but I am going to go with Houston in this one. You mentioned Valdez's numbers, though, against the Mariners. I think that the game was very, very, I don't want to say upsetting, demoralizing, heartbreaking. I don't know. Seattle fans know better than I do. We've all been there on that type of situation, blowing a game where it seems like you have no business losing, and all the momentum in the world, especially in a championship format, when that Uncle Mo is on the other side, you just feel like you can't stop the tidal wave. And Mattress Mac jumping up and down with his buddies in the stands, celebrating, getting ready to make a big score. So I'm going to go against Crush. I'm going with Houston. Pretty expensive price here, but I don't mind it. It's the playoffs. You got to go with something. You got to go with something. The price is what it is, and obviously I respect Castillo a whole heck of a lot. He deserves this opportunity. I think it's unfair what people have said about. You mentioned it. You just mentioned that he hasn't faced you because he's been with Cincinnati, and
Right.
it's unfair to say that Castillo may not have the experience pitching in a pressure. It's true, but because he was with a poor team, there's not any reason to think that he isn't ready for this moment. I mean, he's been a strong pitcher now for quite a while, one of the best in the game. But I'll take Houston in this one. I think the momentum is just too much right now. I've got the Astros, and Mindy has the over in the baseball game. I say the baseball game.
Maybe the baseball game of the day, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually didn't check the weather myself. I usually trust myself more when I hear people talking about 100% rainout situation, and then see that there might be incorrect. So maybe I didn't do all my research this morning that I wanted to do. But Bieber will be pitching against Cortez if this game goes off, and Cortez right now, maybe even lower now, about $1.35 I'm showing, and the total here is 6.5 under 25.
Yeah, kind of a interesting game here again today. Bieber 3-0 in his last 4 starts, 2.73 ERA. Again, a pitcher that's not faced the Yankees in his career. Cortez, he's 1-0 in his 2 starts in Cleveland, 2.19 ERA. I think this one's going to come down to a lot of, situational play, execution, not making a lot of errors here. Yankees are 4-0 to the over at a total set at 6.5, and the over is 4-1 the last 5 meetings in New York. I'm looking for both of these ball games when they get played today to be lights out, a lot of action. Looking for the over here in this one.
All right. I was kind of thinking the other way, but my preferred play here is going to be on Cleveland. I like the way Bieber pitched last time. Cortez can be tricky, no doubt about it. And Crush and I are going to be on opposite sides here. He's got him going for
There's going to be a lot of arm wrestling today, or a lot of arm
in
wrestling.
this one. I'm on the opposite of everybody today. That's usually bad news for me. But, I like the way Bieber pitched last time. I think he's in form. I think he gives them a great chance, especially getting this price, about $1.20 at least here. I'm in on Bieber in this one. I think Cleveland comes back, gets a win here, evens this series up. I'm going to take the Guardians, those Cleveland Guardians today with Bieber. All right.
Sounds good.
That's our look at Major League Baseball with Mindy, the Midwest
That was tough
Premier
to get
Sports
through,
handicapper. Huh?
That was tough to get through those 2 games.
Yeah. Well, I'm still coming off the excitement of last night. And like I said, when the game gets pushed back, it gets pushed back. So, all right, let's go over the National Hockey League. Big card in the NHL. I like the card a lot. I'm interested to see what you say about the card. Get right into it. It's a pretty big card. All right. Ottawa is going to be at Buffalo. Forsberg and Anderson in net. Ottawa currently a short favorite here on the road, and the total is indeed 6/15. 6/20.
So, again, I kind of think, these early games, for me are a little bit tougher just because I don't really have a lot of data. I don't know where these teams are going this season, how the changes have, each of these teams have made in the offseason, how that's affecting them, so what I'm going to take a look at is more going to be, where they are, talent wise, taking a look at trends. And seeing how, some of these first games have figured out here thus far. So the Senators beat the Sabres 2 out of the 3, times last season. But neither team was really all that great here. The Senators, I think they made some nice roster moves in the offseason, helped them, I think, increase the offense here this year. They also have a solid goalie there with Forsberg. Sabres, they have a nice young team, pretty good defense. But may struggle at goal a little bit with Craig Anderson. I think Senators might be one of the most improved teams perhaps this year. Forsberg also has that .919 save percentage against the Sabres. I'm going to take Ottawa, the Senators, -115.
The move's definitely been on Ottawa, up now to Buck. Well, maybe there's been a little bit of buyback, but I think in general the move has been on Ottawa. I agree with you what you said about the goaltending situation. I think there could be some goals scored today. In fact, this total actually, I believe, is some places as high as 6.5 right now. Juice to the under, of course. But I'm going to look to go over in this one. Over 6, I'd prefer if you can get that. And I just taxed myself. Like I said, it's probably 6/25 right now and going up. So I'm going to look to go over in this one. And Crush says he's on Ottawa as well. So you got Crush and Mindy with the consensus pick. But I'll go on the over in Ottawa and Buffalo. Let's find us a consensus play somewhere.
Do it.
Mindy, maybe it's my fault we're not quite clicking right now. This one's lopsided, though, and I don't know what you'll have to say about it. But Arizona is going to take on Pittsburgh, Vezmilka, and Jari in the net. And, almost a $4 favorite here with Pittsburgh. Like I said, I'm just not thrilled about these high prices first game of the season, but it is what it is. And that total definitely 6/30. There were some 6.5s out there. There might even be some right now, but I think in general 6/30.
Yeah, so in my notes it says not much to say about this one. That's kind of yeah, Pittsburgh won last time 4-1. It's the older and wiser team here of the Penguins. Still kept a lot of their core together versus a team that went 0-6 here in the preseason. I got to take Pittsburgh on the puck line here today.
All right, I'll go with you on that. Yeah. I'll go with you on that. I think they can get this puck line today to start the season against Arizona. I think it's probably overpriced, but I don't mind. I think Pittsburgh will win this one confidently. I might lean to the over there at that price of 6, but prefer Pittsburgh with you laying 1.5. That sounds fine to me.
All right, let's do it, Ramon. Consensus play.
We got one, yeah. And we also have Crush's play.
The favorite team.
Okay.
I thought it was the Rangers.
Watch out, we're all on the same play here. New Jersey and Blackwood, they're on the road here. Pretty big move on New Jersey. They might be even going up to 135 here. This total is 6/15. A little bit up on the total.
Yeah, and the Devils Flyers both struggled last year, but New Jersey got the better of them. They won the series 6-3-1 the last 10 games. In Philadelphia, the Devils were better offensive team than defensive, so they got to work on that a little bit. They do have a new coach, and that looks to better themselves. The Flyers, they were the second worst team in the Eastern Conference. They just struggled on offense, special teams, only converting 12% of power play opportunities. I think the Devils here just have the better upside. I'm going to take them at the -130.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with the price, but I respect the move. And I also like New Jersey in this one, and we better get on it now. I mean, it could go to 140, I would think, at this point. I mean, it was considerably lower. I think that maybe it will go over as well, but my preferred play is going to be on New Jersey. So here we go, just like that. We've got it. Yeah, 2 consensus plays in a row here on the ice tonight with New Jersey on the road against Philadelphia. Florida and Bobrovsky, and New York Islanders and Sorokin. And Florida here is a favorite on the road. $1.35 as a total 6/15. This one also has gone up a little bit on the total.
Yeah, last time these two teams played, it was a 3-2 victory for those Panthers. Islanders are hoping for a better season, while the Panthers did make it to the playoffs. Both are under new management here this season. New coaches. Islanders are 4-0 versus the Panthers in their last 3 seasons. I think I got to stick with them today, Ramon. I'm taking the Panthers -135.
You are taking the Panthers.
Yes.
Okay. I agree with you. I think Bobrovsky, I think he'll have possibly a strong day in net in this one. I think Bobrovsky is the man to look at today in this one, and I think that's why I like Florida in this one. I like the goaltending situation, and look at that, would you? So does Crush.
Right.
I don't know what to think now. I'm kind of spooked out here. We're on all these games together. Crush is on the game. He's like the under. I kind of like the under, but Mindy's got Florida, so I've got Florida. We're laying some chalk again on the road with a couple of teams here. We're laying some chalk today, period, Mindy.
Yeah.
Hope we're right. Washington and Lindgren, Toronto and Samsonov. This is a big favorite here with Samsonov nearly $2 now. Last I checked, yeah, 195 total, definitely up there at 6.5/35.
Yeah, I mean, now both of these teams are looking for their first wins. Maple Leafs lost 4-3. They hit the post on the power play, or it might have been here a little bit different game. Capitals fell behind early to the Bruins 0-3. And they went 0-4 on power plays there too. I'm going to take a look at the total here. I know it might be going up a little bit, but the over, they're hit 4 out of the last 5 times in this series. So I'm over that 6.5.
I'm scared now because this one's going to go. This one has to go over. You saw what happened yesterday with Washington scoring all those goals. I mean, I know Toronto's a big favorite here. I actually don't even mind the price. I just don't necessarily want to give it out. I don't think as a free play. I like the over. I mean, I think 7 goals is a certainty, and on this one, uh, man, do you mind if I go over in this one with you?
Of course. I mean, that's so, that's what we're doing here. We're
Yeah,
we're
well, I know, but I mean,
together. We're doing it.
a lot of heavy action here. I told you I like the hockey card, and was wondering where you might come in on some of these games. Again, I like, I like Toronto in the game. Buck 90. Maybe I should give that out as a, just a free play. I don't know if I can lay the puck line though with it. So I want
Right.
to be fair to everybody. So slow down, Mindy. We're gonna be
No,
on
full
every
steam
game.
ahead. The morning's team, full steam ahead.
We're on every game here. All right.
It's just how it works sometimes, right?
The Rangers and Shesterkin going up against Minnesota and Fleury. Fleury a favorite here, $1.40. Rangers have had a game out of the gate, and this total is currently at 6/15.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams are, aiming high here for the season. The Rangers scored 3 in their opening night, but I kind of look for defense to carry them throughout the season. The Wild score 3.72 goals per game last season while giving up 3.04. So I had a little bit of edge on that. But I think the Rangers here, they can start the season off 2-0. I like the Rangers plus 115 in this one.
All right. Well, we'll just have the disagreement for once, finally, and we don't agree. I like Minnesota in this one with Fleury. Yeah, I thought saw what happened with the Rangers in that game, and I don't know. I think for Minnesota, they come out strong here against the Rangers. I'm not thrilled with the price, so I can't make it a premium. I do like them to win this game for sure against the Rangers. First out for Minnesota. So, and let's take a look and see. Crush says go under. So there we go. So at least we have a play on the total on that one, and I did not. So. All right. Sorry about that, Minnie. Just clicking the wrong button here. Let me find where I'm at. Okay, here we go.
It's hard to be host and control room all at the same time,
Yeah, that was about as bad as it gets right there. Dallas and Oettinger, Nashville and Saros, $1.30 here, 5.5, over 15. There were some 6s out there earlier, but it's definitely moved down now. I don't know, but Dallas on the pretty big. Let's see, Nashville move's been on Nashville. They were as low as $1.20. Now they're $1.30. They've been even higher, I think.
Yeah, I think I saw last night when I was doing some work, they were minus 135. Both of these teams are coming off the wild card season performances. The Stars need to improve here offensively. They're a good team, but only score 2.84 goals per game. That defense is what has really gotten them, throughout the season to the playoffs. Predators here, they have a couple of games under their belt where they scored 7 goals in 2 games. Defense, they've already, been pretty dominant, as we talked about here. Saros, he saved 30 of 31 goals here already. Predators are 12-3-2 versus Dallas at home over the last 17. I'm going to go with the Predators in this one at minus 130. Even up to minus 135.
Okay, yeah, no
problem.
Yep. And Crush says Stars and under, but I'm going to go over in this one and disagree with Crush here. I think at 5.5, I don't expect. I know what kudos to the goaltenders. They are in a good position here in this game but I just think the fact that it dipped down to 5.5 and we did see some 6s out there. I'm not too fond of this game as far as the side is concerned, so I want to give something out here and I think it's negligible as far as where this game is going to land in the 5 or 6 range. So I'm just going to take that slightly juiced up 5. Not thrilled about the game though here, as much as I like these other ones that we've talked about. So, and that's kind of the early part of the card there. Now let's get to some of the late action out west. We got to Calgary, where Colorado's going to take on Calgary Georgiev, and Markstrom and Calgary here, $1.20 against Colorado. Calgary's favorite here against the Colorado.
Yeah, I mean Colorado, they're off that easy 5-2 win over the Blackhawks, like we kind of all expected. Calgary, they're actually 0-4 in their last 4 games. I mean, I think Calgary has a little bit of a disadvantage here, not yet playing this season so far. Avalanche are 4-0 in the last 4 in Calgary there as well. I mean, I think you barely ever get this kind of an advantage here with Colorado. I like them at plus 100 here. Go Avalanche.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of hinting at, was the fact that they are a dog here, which might be surprising to some. I do like it over. I liked it better at 6 over, juiced up 6 over, and now it's 6.5. So I think it's worthy of a free play. It might have been a premium at 6,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think that there can be goal. We've seen, early on some goals, I think, throughout the league. And I also think that, we've seen some crazy games with these two clubs, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what it was. Well, in Calgary, they seem to go under for the most part. But I think over in this one. Obviously, the move is on the over. So I'm going to respect the line move there. And I'm going to take over the 6.5, Colorado and Calgary. And glad we have Crush here to join us in each game.
Yeah, everyone can join. Just put your picks out. Let us know what you think. It's fun.
Yeah, if it's only Crush today, that's fine.
Yeah, but you don't have to be shy.
He's going to be on all the videos. All right. Chicago, Mrazek, Vegas, and Thompson. We've seen Vegas already. What do you make of them so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were, playing better than, expected in game number 1, right? But Chicago won 2 of 3 last season, including a 2-1 victory there in Vegas. But, Chicago, they're only, 2-10 in their last 12 as underdogs. They've had that big minus 72 goal differential. Knights had like we said, a good first night. They outshot, the Kings on goal 51-30. So, I mean, that's going to be pretty important, being able to get shots off. I think the Knights here, they're just too good. They're 13-4 on their home ice. I'll take Vegas on the puck line.
All right. Yeah, Chicago didn't look too swift, right, in their opener as well. So I'm questioning whether they can score. Mrazek, I don't mind him in goal, though. We'll see. And Thompson, Vegas is going to count on him, obviously, if he's in there tonight. And looks like he is. So to start the season, from what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to go under, actually, in this one, under 6.5 in the Chicago and Vegas game. And final game of the night, I took a loss with the Kings in the opener against those Knights. And they're going to come back with Quick against Grubauer of Seattle. And yeah, I mean, we're mad at Seattle, but he's a pretty big favorite here against them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the Kraken went 1-3 against LA last season. And during those games, all 3 of those went over the total. Seattle hit over last night as well. Kings started off the season with that loss to Vegas. But it's because they went 0-3 with a man advantage. So they just need to be a little bit sharper. I'm going to keep with the trends here. I'm going to go over the total of 6.
All right. I'm going to come back on Seattle on the back-to-backer. I like the start they had yesterday. I more like the price today. Anything
Right.
at, anything at plus $1.50 is probably pretty good for me, I think. I'm going to come back and take Seattle here against the Kings. I like my Kings, but I don't know if they should be that big of a favorite here in this one. And the move seems to be on Seattle, actually. The Kings were as high as $1.90 or so. or maybe $1.85, and now it's down. So maybe there's some sharp action there on Seattle, and I'm going to take the crack. I'm going to come back with the Kraken. And
Yeah.
hey, Mark, nice to see you. He's on there with me as well. So, oh, okay. See,
Yeah.
we shouldn't have taken we should have taken the puck line.
Right.
And then we would have been in the winter. We would have been at the window with Mark. All right, that's
Next
a
time.
brief look at the NHL for Thursday. All right, now I don't know if we're gonna get. I mean, it's NFL time, so I don't know if we're to be excited or
For these primetime games, I'm not so sure if we should be excited.
yeah. I mean, everybody's talking about this. Game as a kind of a joke, if you will, because the teams are so dismal. But I'm interested to get your take on it. Certainly, when we're talking about
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
Commanders and the Bears. Undefeated on Thursday nights. Carson Wentz, who knew, right? Mr. Clutch on Thursday nights, coming in against the Bears team, Mindy, that has a woeful and anemic, historically bad offense. It looks like at this point, but I don't know. It's almost it's a pick 'em. Is it one anywhere? Maybe it is, but no, whatever the case may be, and it's pretty much a pick 'em. Maybe there's some places where the Commanders are a 1-point favorite. What do you think?
Yeah, well,
Hype this game. Can we hype this game up? Are you going to watch this over the baseball if it's only one baseball game?
I'm always gonna have probably the football on TV1, main
You got all
TV,
those
and
two.
then I'll have the baseball on the peripherals since I actually don't have any my own skin in the game. I don't have like the the Royals out there playing or the Angels, so you know what I mean. Like it just is in order. But yeah, I mean both these teams are coming off losses here. A pretty close one for the Commanders, losing to the Titans 17-21. Then the Bears losing to the Vikings on a strip fumble, whatever you want to say. But the Bears have that 32nd ranked passing offense, only 135 yards per game. Justin Fields, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So, I mean, I don't know. I think if we compare these two offensively, I think the Commanders have the edge here. 367 yards puts them about 13th instead of 32nd. Bears have failed to cover the spread in 9 straight home games versus those Commanders. So yeah, in this pick'em game, I'm going Commanders.
Well, I agree. I mean, I agree. How can the Bears do anything here against even the Commanders? I mean, what is wrong with these guys? Do they not trust Fields? Well, he's under pressure. Look, maybe the situation is because he's so much under pressure. Right? I mean, he's really under pressure. I mean, he is running for his lives all the time. So that's probably the problem right now. I would think more with Justin Fields than the game planning. I think he's running for his life, not able to get good passes off. Look, Washington, they've failed 4 straight. There's no doubt about it. They have all kinds of issues too, right? They think that talk is coach might be on the hot seat. The way we're seeing coaches get fired, I don't know. Rivera's been around a long time. It probably would take more than even a loss here for him to, lose his job. But, we shall see. Now, Chicago, they come out so poorly. They failed against the spread in the first half in 5 straight. So, this one could be an ugly, ugly game. Well, we know it's an ugly game, right? But I mean, is it ugly enough that it's going to be one of those? Is it going to be like 19-11, or 12-6, something stupid like that? Yeah, it could be. I think it really could be. Thursday night game so far, Mindy, 1-4 to the under. And I'll also tell you this: the last 11 times that non-division games have been under 41 points have gone 1-10 to the under. Chicago has gone under in 21 of their last 29 games overall. Those are just some stats because I'm going to agree with Mindy here and go with the Commanders on the road of all things. Look at some props here from Mark. All right, Mindy, we're on a consensus play in the Commanders and the Bears. We're taking the Commanders.
Look at us go
on the road. Oh boy, Bears. Hey, if they win, they're 3-3. So don't laugh, too much. Well, I don't know. We can laugh, but if they win, they'll be 3-3, and their season win total was like 6.5. I mean, they'll be halfway there, and they play in that weak division. So, I don't know. Maybe they get there. I don't know. All right, let's move on to the rest of the card for Sunday. We're going to preview just the early games today. We'll be back on Sunday with the late games, including the Bills and the Chiefs, the Cowboys and the Eagles. But there are some good games also in the early morning slate. We'll take a look at those right now. We're starting to hit the buys, so we have 8 games to talk about, including the Buccaneers going on the road against the Steelers in this one. Kind of a runaway favorite here with the Bucs. Probably, shouldn't be a runaway favorite necessarily. I mean, there's no secrets about this game, right? I mean, we know Pittsburgh's quarterbacking situation. I mean, it's not. We want to see more. We don't, not sold on it yet, but I don't know why maybe Tampa Bay is kind of a runaway favorite here, other than the fact that Pittsburgh, maybe they're heading for their first losing season. I get it. Pittsburgh hasn't been faring that well. It looks like a, bad season, but still, now Buccaneers are almost double digits.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at as well. Neither of these teams are really scoring all that much. As I talked about for my fantasy team, I had to bench Brady like 2 weeks ago for Geno Smith, but the Steelers are ranked 30th at only 15 points a game here, but the Buccaneers aren't much better. They only average 5 more points a game, better than, Pittsburgh here. So I think they also have kind of serious problems right now in the running game for both of these teams. They're ranked 29th and 31st in rushing. Steelers here, they're 3-1-1 against the spread their last 5 home games. I think this one's actually going to be kind of a conservative, low scoring. I think Pickett's going to get a little bit of groove. I'm going to take the Steelers +9 here in this one.
Well, you don't have to sell me on it. I mean, I almost sold myself on it, right? Maybe they should be 6-point favorites, I would think. Home dogs off a loss of 24 points or more are 22-10 against the spread in their next game over the last 3 years, Mindy. And Pittsburgh 10-3 straight up and against the spread off losses of 17 or more points. Now I know we're dealing with one of the worst Steeler teams we've seen, but the organization hasn't changed. The Tomlin factor hasn't changed. And
Right.
Even over the last 4 or 5 years, I mean, even when Ben was in there, I mean, he was not a quarterback that was making the difference anymore. He was kind of the same type, maybe the game managing type of quarterback. If you look back, kind of over the while, I get it. What is being said by Mark and there's a familiarity there, but non-division road favorites that have played 3 straight home games, the comfortability that the Buccaneers had just rolling up a little bit at home. When they go on the road, it doesn't really bode that well. 3 straight home games is something where in this league it's kind of a big deal. So let me tell you, Mindy, when they do this, 3 straight home games, and then you go on the road after you've won your last game by at least 2 touchdowns. 1-16 against the spread the last 17 times this has happened. So let's go with Pittsburgh. This is one of those ugly dogs, but that's a pretty serious 1-16. That's if you've played It's a non-division road favorite. Okay, off of
Yeah,
3 straight home games where you won your last game by more than 2 touchdowns, 1-16 against the spread. Next time out, let's take Pittsburgh in
we
this
got it. Consensus play.
consensus there. On Pittsburgh, taking them. It's ugly, but that's what this league. That's what come down to in this league is. All right, the Bengals going to take on the Saints in this one. The Bengals on the road, 1 point favorite, maybe 1.5, maybe one with some juice. Want to just mention that Ben has started to put his plays up there for the week as well. He's got several videos up so far, so want to check those out over on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Shout out to Ben. Want to mention that. What do you think, Minnie, in this one though? Cincinnati and New Orleans.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe Jameis can get back in the lineup here. We'll see. The Bengals are coming off
Yeah, we don't need him, but okay.
right. But yeah, coming off that 17-19 loss to Baltimore there. And the Saints won against the Seahawks 39-32. But yeah, I mean, I just think that if we take a look at where these two teams have been, minus, this last one here for the Bengals, they scored 27 points in each of those games. The Saints offense, they're averaging the 5th most yards per game, 396. They have, that nice balance, I think, between the rush and pass. I think that will keep the Bengals defense guessing here a little bit too. I think this is going to be a more offensive game than defensive. I'm going to take the over 43 in this one.
Why do we continue to overlook Taysom Hill? Because he's not a full-time quarterback, I guess, huh? And I mean, it seems like he comes through.
Yeah, because he's designated as a tight end, right? I mean, so we have to try not to look at him as a quarterback, even though he probably has a better skill set than Andy Dalton.
Yeah, right. And you bring something that a little bit to the table that. Well, I don't know. Some of these other teams too. I mean, he's a kind of a running quarterback if he was in there. But I get, and again, remember when it was Drew Brees was retired, everybody's like, "Oh, Taysom Hill will be the next starting quarterback. Why not?" He seems to come through, but now it's like when you least expect it, he seems to come through. So I don't know. Here's the thing: Cincinnati's off of a road game. And New Orleans is playing their 2nd straight home game. I love situations like this, Mindy, when this, it's a basic situation, but I mean, 2nd straight home game and a 2nd straight road game and a 2nd straight home game. Cincinnati averaging minus 0.4 yards per play this season, while New Orleans is averaging plus 0.5 yards per play. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that equals 1 whole yard, and that's a big deal to me in this situation, especially with New Orleans at home. In a near pick 'em, I'm going to take the Saints in this one. Jaguars and the Colts. Jaguars. Jags. Colts are favored here by 2. Total 42.
Yeah, so the Colts won in that barn burner versus Denver last week, 12-9 in a field goal fest, while the Jaguars lost to those winless Texans. The Jaguars, they lost last week, but they still put up a ton of offense. 422 total yards, 22 first downs. Colts, again, they're dead last in offense at 13 points a game. Jaguars, I think, have a good defense. They've only given up, 16 points, puts them in 4th place if we rank them in the NFL this season. Jags, they're 13-2-1 against the spread the last 16 with those Colts. I'm going to take the Jaguars here. In a close one, I'll take the 2.
All right. Mindy, one thing that happens in the NFL quite a bit is when you have two teams that score in their previous game when both teams score under 14 points, like they just did. But we're talking about two teams. You just reeled off the scores. I mean, it was 13-6 in one game and 12-9 in the under. Usually, when both teams score, in the one team that's playing and their opponent in the previous game both score 14 points or less, it usually comes in a dead under every time after that. That's the way I'm going to end up probably looking at this one. The Jags, Indy's gone under now, I think, in 10 straight games dating back to last season. The last 8 AFC South games when the home team has been favored have gone under, and I think that's kind of a key factor for me. Teams also off Thursday underdog win are 1-12 to the under over the last 3 years. So how about this? I got more on these, but I'm just going to go
Should I keep
under.
reading?
Yeah, I'm going to go under. I'm not getting the best number anymore. Maybe it would have been a premium if it was a little bit if it was a little bit higher. The market seems to the sharps seem to favor the over, the good sharps, I call them, the sharper books, but I got to go under in this one for me. Last 13 games in this series at Indianapolis, 11-2 to the under as well. So I'm going to go under in Jags and Indy. All right, the Patriots, a little bit of quarterback questions, I think, going into this one, but we don't know which one it is at this point. I don't think we do yet. And they're going up against the Browns here. And the Browns are a favorite against the Patriots? What?
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots, I think they're coming off of that surprising 29-0 win against the Lions, who've been one of the best scoring teams here in the league. Browns suffered another real close loss, questionable play calling perhaps there at the end, 28-30. Patriots defense, they're just kind of hot right now, only allowing 19 points a game here on the season. Browns 2-5 in their last 7 overall, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 against a team with a losing record. I think Patriots, they're going to be able to limit the Browns here in this one, keep it within reach. I think the Patriots are going to get this one. I like them plus the 2.5.
Absolutely, they're going to get this one. I mean, they'll probably win the game, right? I mean, they destroyed the Lions. Was it? You said surprising, yeah, because the Lions.
I think
yeah,
that the Lions didn't score, right?
Yeah, because the Lions were putting up all those numbers. We talked about it, but then you saw what Seattle and New Orleans ended up doing. It kind of explained maybe more about what was going on with that Detroit-Seattle game that we saw the week prior. Right, Seattle looks like the Legion of Doom rather than boom at this point with that defense. Doesn't look too great. So New England averaging plus 0.3 yards per play and Cleveland minus 0.3 yards per play. So I don't care if it's Zappe or Jones. I've got Ramondre Stevenson to counter the combo of the Browns. Yeah, the Browns, they can run the football maybe against the Patriots. I don't know. They have to show some balance. And it'll be up to Brissett, who we liked him, going in. But again, you're going up now against the Patriots defense. And now, with the Patriots having, still developing a little bit at quarterback, whichever, especially if it's Zappe, the strategy will be, I think they show a little bit more confidence in Jones. But I don't know. They're going to come with the same philosophy, I would think. And Cleveland, they were giving up chunks to the Chargers on the ground, making Eckler look,
good.
Remember Eckler was he's had 2 good games. I won't talk about the Chargers, but Browns were giving it up definitely. I mean, he was rumbling down the field for sure. And here's another thing: the Patriots have played a much tougher schedule, I'm pretty sure, than the Browns this year. So I'm going to take the Patriots. Let's go with the consensus play here.
Consensus play.
Patriots, yeah. All right, the Jets are going to take on the Packers. Jets, well, hey, nice job by the Jets so far, I think. Packers are going to be mad. They are off a big travel, though, coming in. So maybe that's why the move. Green Bay was favored a little more than this. Yeah, the move's actually been to the Jets, but, man, the Packers are going to be mad.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets were the high scorers last week with putting up that 40 over the Dolphins. And then when, kind of called it there with the Giants taking it to the Packers there a little bit in London. That Jets offense, they're ranked 11th in the NFL. That Packers defense allows, 300 yards a game. The over 6-2 in the Jets' last 8 road games here as well. Jets have that 7th ranked passing offense, 276 yards a game. I like Brees Hall. I think he's playing well. 97 yards rushing, touchdown last week. I think we're going to know that Aaron Rodgers is going to be mad, Ramon, and I think he's going to figure out a way to keep the Packers here, all fired up for this game. I'm going to take a look at the over 45 here in this one.
I'll jump in here with you on this one. NFC home favorites against the AFC so far, 6-0 by 10 points. They're beating that total right now to the over. And also teams that are coming in dogs of 3 points or more after scoring 40 points, like you said, that the Jets did, Mindy, when the line on their next game is 44 points or more, like this one. It's gone over in 8 straight times, 8-0 to the over when that situation has occurred. So Green Bay 11-4, last 15 games at home against the spread. We know they've won 15 straight games at home. New York, I think, that was such a big. They lost 12 straight games in the division. So I don't know what you say about, but that was a big win. They're going to have. It's an automatic hangover here. Packers will, I think, be able to help this total a lot. They may even get a blowout here, but I think I agree with you, Mindy. We're going to be up in the upper 40s here with this one. Let's go over for a consensus play. Ravens and Giants. The Ravens are favored on the road against the mighty Giants. Oh, man, I don't know about this. I mean, the Giants are one of the best teams going. Look at it. They're in the NFC East and right up there with the top contenders. Pretender or contender, Mindy?
Pretender or contender? Well, I'll let you figure that one out, Ramon, if you choose to go that way. Ravens did get the best of the Bengals last week. Giants got the best of those Packers. Lamar Jackson not doing much on the passing game here so far this season. Only 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 170 yards passing there versus those Bengals. And then Daniel Jones, he's, being steady, 217 yards, but didn't, they scored mostly on the ground. I'm going to take a look at the total. The under is 5-2 in the Ravens' last 7 games overall. The Giants is 9-2-1 in the under after a straight up win. I think these offenses have to really work hard to score. It seems like this season. I'm going to take the under here.
Giants 10-27 to the under the last 3 seasons right now. Non-division home dogs on a run right now of 9 straight to the under. Mindy, AFC road favorites the last 3 years against NFC teams when the total is under a very reasonable big total of 54. Gives you a huge window here. 1-18 to the under last 3 years. AFC road favorites at NFC when the total is under 54, and the total rarely gets over that.
Right.
I'm just giving you when they predict a huge score, you got to eliminate those games. But giving you a big window here of 54, 1-18 to the under in the last 19 times in the last 3 seasons. We're going under. Consensus play. Baltimore and the Giants. All right, the Vikings going to take on the Dolphins. We've seen a big shift here as far as the look-ahead line, where Miami certainly would have been probably a favorite with Tua. And the Vikings, certainly been nice, but and the Dolphins certainly been good. But now with Thompson in there, Tua is moving forward now. The bizarre situation, right, with Tua. Look, we know the controversy and everything when he, coming back, and but it is funny that all of a sudden where he did get back in there and then now missing 2 games when really when you see these concussions it's usually just 1 game. So to me he's not ready to go because he obviously had
a previous concussion,
a severe concussion. Right, it was severe.
It was 2
right?
concussions in a week. That's why he's been out. I mean, I guess you can say it was a back injury all along, but gosh, it's just hard for me to. I mean, there could have been an ankle, a back, and a head injury.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not that they don't have those, but I just think the way he went down, those were 2 concussions within a week.
Yeah, and it's funny because have you ever had? I don't know. I'm old, and I feel great now, folks. I feel great, but I mean, I've had like a maybe I'm sure other people have too. When you have a nerve injury in your back, and you get that sharp thing that just you saw the way that his knees buckled. It's and a concussion. You know, the brain is connected to the spine, right? I mean, it's all like one thing. Kind of. It all controls from the top. Uh, when the sharp pain hits, right? It just shrinks your body. Like that's what happened. You almost collapse to the ground like that. So I'm not saying that he didn't have a back injury as
Yeah.
well, but again, it all relate. I mean, I guess that's why you go. Well, I don't. I tried to. I had some injuries, and I tried chiropractic rehab, and it wasn't for me. But I could see where things like that, because when they did it, it made me feel not euphoric, but I mean it woke me up. It woke the mind a little bit. And when you get a concussion like that, uh, look, I was stunned just because he's out another week now, but it's funny because you're like, are they penalizing him in a way? No, don't play him because of the, you know, doctor controversy they had. And we know the Dolphins are a messed up organization to a certain extent. That doesn't discredit them. Maybe I even give them a chance here against Minnesota. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think about this game. I never know which kind of Vikings team will show up. Same with the Dolphins. Are we, where are we going to be heading quarterback wise? Are we going to have a third stringer, or is Tua going to get back in? So yeah, I'll take a look at the total here. The Vikings. I don't know what to. I don't know what to think about him. It's one of those with Kirk Cousins. He's kind of feast or famine. But at least they're always going to be able to run the ball here for the most part. And, the Dolphins, they just really haven't had much of a running game. They've only put up 82 yards. They rank 30th in the rush. But both teams, are still averaging 20 points a game here. I think both of these will go well below that total of 45 and a half. I'm going to go under here today.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be, Miami with Thompson in there, right? That you would think they were going to be limited, and Miami still can play a little bit of defense here. Cousins on the road. My concerns are that teams in Week 6 before a bye, 36-17 to the over, and 29-11 when playing non-division opponents, and 19-5 to the over when the total is under 47 points. But Minnesota 0-4 against the spread in their last four. That's kind of wants me to play Miami here in this one, and the Vikings 0.5 yards per play despite that 4-1 record. We talked about maybe how we kind of like the Vikings, but maybe at this point they are overrated. So I'm gonna just hesitant on that total. I mean, it's so high. It seems too high given the situation of Miami playing a very, very inexperienced quarterback, considering how he, they had to throw him in there a little bit in the last game. So now with a week with the genius, maybe he can be serviceable here and keep them in the game. And that's the way I'm going to look. I'm going to look for Miami with the preparation of McDaniels and the Thompson in there. The fact that it could be a low-scoring game. I'm getting a field goal. I'm getting a field goal plus, right? I'm getting 3.5. I'm going to take Miami. Somebody's got to do it.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't disagree with you on that total. I might be coming up with something on that later. All right, and our last game on the early card is going to be the 49ers. I don't know where you rank the defense, if you put them ahead of teams like Philly or whatnot, but they sure do statistically hold up right now as one of the best, if not the best defense going up against the Falcons here. But the Falcons, they're undefeated against the spread.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the 49ers have, the top ranked defense here. They only give up 12 points a game. Also have 21 sacks, first in the NFL. So yeah, I was on the Falcons getting the 10. So they covered just right there at the end, came back against Tampa Bay. The 49ers, they won against Carolina in the last, in the last one out. I'm going to take a look at the under at 7-1, the last 8 games. I think the Falcons are going to struggle here against the 49ers. I'm going to go under. And I think I have someone at my door. It might be my nephew. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll tell Mindy what happens when she comes back, because we're going to end up agreeing on this one. Look, I agree with what she said. I mean, look, San Francisco allowing just those 12 points per game. We know Atlanta, their offense is serviceable, I think, right now. But man, this total's gone up to 44.5, and you got that number one defense. Now, San Francisco, tough to play these games when you're on the road on the East Coast, but they stayed in West Virginia this past week. And usually that's been a pretty good situation for San Francisco. They've come back and won 7 of the last 8 times when they've decided to stay at a local and not make any trips. So I think for San Francisco, I think that does bode well. I don't know if they get the money against Atlanta at this point. Like I said, Atlanta 5-0 against the spread. So if they're going to get the number, they're not going to outgun the 49ers, right? We know the 49ers still, look, with Jimmy, it's, not, Debo's a game changer, right? We know that. So he can make the difference. But again, they're not going to be explosive with Jimmy G. And with Mariota, we know we're getting right now with Atlanta. So that's a pretty big number to me, Mindy. 44.5 for a division game like this when you got very mediocre quarterback play. Don't get me wrong, I'm always on here talking about Jimmy G making us money, but that doesn't mean that, he's not exactly zinging it downfield all over the place. He's getting it to the right guys. He's got, 2 legitimate weapons, and for some reason San Francisco finds a way to run the ball effectively, and, it looks like they're kind of underrated still at this point, but we've got a consensus play, Mindy, is what I was saying before you left, because that's just too high. 44.5, this game should certainly be 41, maybe 42, I would think. It's a division game, and that's the way I see it. All right. Wow, we got a lot of consensus. I think we ended up with quite a bit of consensus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on the early card. That's going to make for a nice card for us on the morning steam. We got to turn around. We'll be in action on Sunday. And don't forget, I said 5, but that's just for the Sunday. We're on Washington tonight. Don't forget, too.
Right, exactly.
Commanders. And I'm wearing a Bears jersey, but that's because I don't
do that all the time.
I don't own it. I do have Redskins stuff, but I feel awkward now wearing that. I feel that I'm not supposed to wear that. But I will give the Commanders credit. The nameplate on the back is absolutely on point. I think those are very, very cool. The looks like a military style nameplate on the back for the last name. So that's about all I like about the Commanders identity change. And maybe the fans are embracing it, but you can't have hogs. I know they're still there, but
yeah, right.
Okay, Minnie, that's all the major action. There is some NBA preseason. I don't know if you looked at it coming off of.
I looked at it some. If you want to take a
stab at it. I was actually disappointed in my results yesterday. It looked like I was heading for a 3-1, ended up 2-2 personally, but we did get our win together in the Minnesota and Lakers game. And again, you beat me to like a drum on that late game with Denver and the Clippers. I don't even know. I stopped watching it, but I know it was like going 240. Did it end up going to 240? I don't remember. But
I don't remember either.
And I had a premium winner with Atlanta and Cleveland under. And I also let's see what you got here today. Also, I won a third straight social media play with the Minnesota and the Lakers over. So 3 in a row on Twitter at Tony's Picks Ramon. So try to come up with another one today, and it may very well be in one of these two games. Let's take a look at the Grizzlies, favored by 5.5 here against the Pistons. And I'll check these because, again, in the morning, seems like the games have moved every time just by the nature of when we're doing the show. There are sharps out there betting into these lines. The squares are not. This total's dropped a point to 2. It's actually Grizzlies now 6.5 to 11.5.
Oh, geez. Well, I like the Grizzlies at the
sorry, I
minus
did that
5.5 here. So yeah, I'm still going to take those Grizzlies at 6 as well. So I had quite a big variance here on the Grizzlies winning this one versus the Pistons on the road.
Okay, and I'll take advantage of that line. I feel bad. I like just put an extra point on you, and I gave myself an extra point because I'm going to go over in Memphis and Detroit. But hey, I'll grade myself at 212.5. So, but everyone else that wants to tail on the free play here can get it definitely at 211.5. Whether or not it'll move anymore, I don't know. But my free play will be on the over. Mindy's got Memphis NBA preseason action. Again, we're just pretty much going off our, off of our numbers, not too into the major handicap of diving into who's playing and who's not. When it's a preseason game and we're 10 hours from tip off, but we certainly can come up with some opinions. The Thunder and the Spurs. This one is 2 and 218.
Yeah, so I'm rooting for another 240 score in this one. I like the over 217.5. I don't remember where you said it was at currently.
Yeah.
Oh, 218. So yeah, I'll still take the over 218 here in this one.
I'll do it with there's our consensus play in the NBA preseason right there. I do like it over. I've got it at 221 on my numbers, so that's good enough for me to go with you on a consensus play to the over. As far as the side is concerned, I would just give a little bit of a look right now to Oklahoma City, but I'm not sure that one could even change once I see what's going on.
And what did you say you had it as? 221?
My personal number, but
that was mine too.
Okay.
My personal number is 221.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we're laying 218 here, probably when we enter it in the back end as our NBA consensus play. And remember, if you miss any of our consensus plays here on the morning steam, you can get those plays over at Tony'sPicks.com. Now, you can watch our show every day, Saturday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, 6 Pacific, and get all of our consensus plays every day for free right here as Mindy and I unveil the card and the lines each day, see where we agree. We don't communicate at all on our plays going in. We're just excited to see if we end up on the same play, and then you can measure our results over at Tony'sPicks.com. And if you missed the show and you just want to save time, not have to go through the YouTube or the podcast. Don't forget, Mindy, we're on all the major platforms now, which is going to make us big stars here with Tony. Thanks, Tony. We're on all the major platforms now, but you can get all of our consensus plays. You can subscribe to them in different. These are all of our football plays that we already have up, Mindy, for this weekend in college football. I just want to take a look at that real quick too. We got the early starts, a 3-pack. We got a 5-pack in there. We've got plenty of action for you, including the Friday stuff as well. So we got packages load up big time in college football. And here's just a sample of our plays so far. These are the games that we've already moved on, Mindy. So if you're a subscriber to the Morning Steam, or if you just watched every show, look at all these games that we've already got lined up for you. We're going to have a huge Saturday. And take a look at our record. Well, we got to clean it up a little bit, like I said, but we've already proven to have some pretty good numbers since we've been hooking up and doing this show. This week, got to clean that up, but we'll be doing that. Certainly go back and check out all of our previous picks on the Morning Steam. So again, we'll have plays today as well. We just went through them all, and you can get them over at Tony'sPicks.com. If you ever missed the show, use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages, including today's premium pick packages. Mindy, what do you expect to have going on at Tony's Picks?
Yeah, so I will definitely be in on Major League Baseball. I'll be in on NBA preseason, and we're gonna take a look at this NFL card to see if we can come up on something on that total.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't know if I think I'll be able to find my own premiums in hockey, but man, we're already loaded up, you and I, with most of the several games on the early part of the hockey card. And of course, we have NFL tonight, and Mindy and I had a consensus play there. So check it out. And also, college football. We did not, I don't think, Mindy, as I said earlier, we did not have, even though we just listed all those plays there
Okay,
for this weekend, Thursday night we did not have any
we didn't.
consensus plays. So we're on our own there, maybe, depending on what you see on the card and what I see on the card. But you can go back to Monday's show to catch our plays for tonight.
Yep.
Over there, and Tony just debuted his video just a
Yay,
few
Tony.
hours ago for Thursday night's game. So go to Tony's Picks YouTube channel and his 2 games for Thursday. I think he also had some other games tacked on there as well for more free picks, or you can look at each game individually over there at Tony'sPicks.com. So, all right, Mindy, unless you've got anything else to consider. We definitely had a great show. Thanks for everybody to joining us in the chat. Always appreciate you guys, especially our contributors in the chat with their free picks. Good luck to you guys. Yes, we are betting these games. That's what we do here at Tony's Picks. So you got.
I mean, it's our job. Like it's what we do. We bet sports.
Yeah, right? It's our lives. Just like you guys out there. If you're watching this show with us, you're just like us. So I want you to join us every day here on the morning steam, and we'll keep on doing it. Maybe we'll get a Friday show one day, but uh, you know, uh, we'll see about that. All right. Okay, Mindy, good job. We'll catch you on Saturday morning, right, with more college football. We'll be back with NHL. You know, a big card on Saturday, more Major League Baseball. Miss you tomorrow. Miss everybody tomorrow, but we will be back, and make sure you catch all the shows here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channels, including Soccer Picks Daily, 2:15 Eastern, 1:15 Central, and 11:15 Pacific, with Paul Lagaretos and Tony T, before Mindy and I come back with game day picks with the man himself, Tony T. All right. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.